Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to share with you this get ready going out party makeup. I've got a birthday party to go to this evening and I need my makeup to last. So without further hesitation, let's get into creating this makeup look. Today my face makeup is a little bit more full coverage and glam than I normally do, so it's feeling a little flat. I want to start by adding some dimension back to the skin. I'm going to use my rom&nd Better Than Shade powder, and this is in shade 01, and I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury powder and sculpt brush. When I'm contouring with the powder, I want to look straight ahead into my mirror, find the point of my cheek in which I want to highlight, and start by placing that shade while I'm looking straight ahead. Then I can turn my face and buff in. I like to work it right up into the hairline and under the cheek, pull it back into the ear, and work my way back. I like the concentration of the powder to be back here and then slowly work forward, and I don't like to go much past the corner of my eye. So that way when I look straight ahead, it doesn't look too intense, and when I turn my face, there's not a straight. There's a lot more daylight now that we're in summer proper. That means this party is going to go from daylight to nighttime. So I want my makeup to look good in the dim, low light restaurant and when we go out to the little karaoke place afterward. But I also want it to look good going to dinner and possibly walking over to the karaoke bar. I'm more than likely to get very oily and I might sweat. So I want to make sure everything is looking good. The only other place I'm going to contour is a little bit to start my eyeshadow look. So I'm going to use a mix of those two shades. Start here on the side of my nose, work up and in. This is going to help start shaping my nose, carry it through my socket. Then whatever I've left over, I'm going to shade the side of my nose. So again, work here right at the root of my nose and eyebrow junction, buff side to side, and then a little bit onto the side of my nose. Then whatever I've left from there, I will just shade on the tip of the nose. I like my nose to look a little bit more curved at the top, straight, and then a little bit more curved here. All around, I'm looking to make my nose just look a little bit slimmer and help me shorten the appearance of my upper lip. Now we are going to add some warmth, and I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Bronzer in the shade Fair. This is a little bit warmer than I typically like to go. There is a method to the madness. I'm going to use IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores powder brush. I remember this was originally marketed to go with the Bye Bye Pores bronzer, and I'm using this brush to stamp on the outer half of my face. I want to add some warmth. The top I'm wearing is this cool tone pink. My skin is a little bit more on the neutral side, and I just want some warm tones in this look. Love my seasonal color analysis. I love having those suggestions to get you started. Like, say for instance, I am a light summer teetering into cool true summer. So that means most of my colors are going to be cool toned, and if I want to lean more into my light summer color palette, that is cool into neutral. I like some warmer tone colors. I struggle with warmer tone colors, but that doesn't mean I don't want to wear them on occasion. And this bronzer is a slightly warmer tone. So something I like to do is I like to apply it and tie it into a cooler tone contour. Then I like to further create a gradient. So that way I get to play with my warm tone shades, but I don't have to have the weird feeling of them floating on my skin or looking disconnected. If you are someone who has a similar struggle with warm orangey tones, or if you find those cool blue pinks, purples to be very overwhelming, you'll do the same thing, but in reverse. Product I purchased when I was in London, we're in Covent Gardens, there is a Glam beauty boutique. And when I was in there, I was looking at some of the fragrances and I decided to purchase one of the new terracotta blushes because at that point they hadn't been released yet here in Canada. I purchased the shade 01 Close Clair. I'm using the BK Beauty Angie Hot Flashy A507. I'm going to go on the perimeter of where I applied the bronzer. And this blush, even though it's called a cool tone, I find Glam for their complexion products, they never go as cool toned as I like. They never really teeter into that cool icy blue. They all have a little bit more of a neutral cool tone. Using this, I can create a soft gradient. That's why you'll notice I pick up the product, work it off my hand, and then I start tying it into the edge of that bronzer. I want to add a little bit more. This terracotta blush is quite firmly pressed, so you don't get a lot of product, which this is great for building up. I've mentioned on Instagram, I keep a drawer I call my makeup archive, where I keep things that were either discontinued or limited edition that I found truly special. And something I've hung on to is the Dior Holiday 2021 Backstage Highlight Palette. This is shade 004 Rose Gold. I've seen this pop up recently on, it was either Instagram or TikTok, and someone said this was a trending product in Korea. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I have that, let's use it. I am going to be using my MAC 137. This is like a really flimsy candlestick blush, and since these shades do run more warm, I use this flimsy brush to mix them all together because I really want to capitalize on that warm sun flushed look. And I'm going to go right high up on the cheekbone, this big exaggerated C shape, even going into the tail of my eyebrow, and I'm really buffing and polishing this shade into the skin, and it just gives this really beautiful pearlescent sheen. If you're looking straight ahead, you might not see it, but when you turn, you can see you're just starting to get this really beautiful glassy glow. And I'm going to start here on the top of the apple of the cheek, so that way when you talk and your face moves, you just get this pop of light that is just so pretty. Anything left over, I'm going to run right over the center portions of my face. This brush is so flexible, you're not going to get a ton of payoff, which makes these slightly warmer pinky tone shades a little bit more flexible and workable for more skin tones. I purchased one of the new Kosas Blush is Life blushers in the shade Butterflies. I've not used this yet. It looks quite pigmented, so I want to use this really fluffy, oh my goodness, look at that. It's almost neon on the brush. Might be a little intense for me, so oh my goodness, I am glad I'm using this brush. This might be the best way for me to apply it, because I want this to almost feel like a translucent glow on the skin, and I'm gonna tie it into the hairline and wrap. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty, but oh my goodness, also the amount of payoff that I'm getting from this blusher. This brush is perfect for this Kosas blush. That is so pretty. I'm gonna have to take a step back, because if I keep adding, we might go overboard and throw off the balance of the rest of the look I have in mind. Recently, I was perusing Amazon like I normally do, and I saw Amazon Canada now has an official Peri Pera storefront, and they have these Peri Pera Ink Velvet lip pencils, and this is the shade 03 Soft Pink. I really love the shade. It's a nice warm pink that's slightly on the neutral warm side, but I like using this as a really easy stain all over the lips. It's interesting, I wouldn't call this lip pencil like a nude lip pencil for my skin tone at least, but it almost is this interesting like color correcting lip tone. It's a similar intensity as the very center of my lip, because like right here, I did not apply any lip pencil, but it takes that tone and it allows me to color correct and brighten up the perimeter lips, which is a little bit more blue purple, and create this nice balanced. Now I'm going to use my Lisa Eldridge Luxuriously Lucent lipstick in the shade Rosy Shell. Yesterday I saw an email saying this is one of her shades that's being discontinued, and that makes me sad because this is such a beautiful lipstick. Now I really want to rub and work that into the lips, and then I'm going to use my BK Beauty A505. This is a shimmer eyeshadow brush, but I love using this to really work lipsticks into the lips and working a shade into the lips where it's almost like a lip stain. And doing that, it just makes this lip shade feel a lot more harmonious, and also this lip shade tying into the blush, toning it down, making it feel less stark. Before I go further with lips or cheeks, let's move into eyes. And I am going to be using this beautiful eyeshadow palette from 3CE Multi-Eye Color Palette in Autofocus. I believe this was part of their Split Second collection. So beautiful. I don't have any ideas for the eye look. I thought I did, but I'm not really feeling it anymore. So I'm going to start off with this bone colored shade, and I'm using a BK Beauty 201, just picking that up, and I'm going to work it right over my eyelid, staying just shy of where I applied that contour shade. And that shade's just going to work as a nice lid brightening shade. So I want to start by creating creating kind of a hazy eye. So I'm going to go to my BK Beauty A503 and I'm going to use this more coral pink. And using this larger fluffy brush, tapping it off, I'm going to place my brush where the contours, angle up and work side to side, side to side, wrap under, side to side, side to side, wrap under. And I want to create like a coral pink halo around the eye. I want something very soft. In a way, we are creating like a soft focus monochromatic, like hazy eye. Now I'm gonna go a little bit smaller with my brush. This is BK Beauty A502 and I'm gonna go this muted burgundy mauve. It's not quite gray enough to be a true mauve, but it has something that reminds me of burgundy or a Bordeaux shade. And I am just using this brush to bounce it in to the outer corner of my eye. I'm using this bouncing motion to stamp the color in, and I can almost see as I press the brush in, I'm creating like this triangular section. So I am going to almost fill that little triangle in. And I'm letting my brush do the work for me because I want this look to feel more smoky, more dramatic, but at the same time, I'm not someone who likes very heavy eye looks. I find it just really overwhelmed. So I want drama, but I don't want that weight thrown into my eye look. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to second layer at a little depth. And now I'm going to use my smallest brush. This is BK Beauty A504. I'm going to use the deep brown. I'm going to tilt my chin up and start by patting this almost here at the lash line. And then as I have less product on the brush, I'm going to tie in to the previous shade I applied. I want to do a little mixing. I hope this doesn't go differently than I'm planning, but I'm going to take my flat brush. This is an Hourglass number 3 all over shadow brush into this like burgundy satin shade. And I am just going to go for it and start by patting this right over my eyelid. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. With this being a K-Beauty eyeshadow brand, it's not going to be too intense. It's not going to be like a Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona where there is no translucency. It's going to be translucent so you can get a nice watery kind of sheer veil of color. The same brush, I want to go into this more coppery bronze. Then I'm going to go on top of this burgundy because I want to add like this rusty, sunny effect. I wiped my brush off on a tissue. I want to pick up this pale golden shade and really working this brush into that shadow. I want to place it here on the inner corner of my eye and really pat and pull and exaggerate this inner corner. That is so pretty. Eyeshadow perfection in a palette. NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to apply this right over my eyelid with my middle finger. Then I'm going to use my ring finger and I'm going to tap into this rose gold shade from the eyeshadow palette. These K-Beauty eyeshadow formulas have a bit of a tack to them, but I want to use an eyeshadow primer just to give them a little extra oomph. That is so pretty. I want to use my L'Oreal bronzer again. I'm going to take my BK Beauty 201. I'm just going to go right over the seam because I want to add a little bit more of that kind of warm bronze shade just here on the perimeter, looking in the mirror behind my camera so I get a little bit of depth and perspective. I'm going to go over to the Dior highlighting palette and I'm going to mix together the two lighter shades and put that here on the inner corner. Now I'm going to build up a very generous coat of dark brown mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess in black brown, and I want to make sure I'm coating both sides of my lashes. And I'm going to set the Essence mascara in place with my Maybelline Sky High in burgundy. BK Beauty A505 brush, and I've got my Anastasia lip gloss in the shade Cotton Candy. This lip gloss, I do not love applying it with the little wand applicator because anytime I do, without fail, it always ends up looking really unappetizing on the lips. So I like applying it with a brush. And you can see it's got this nice white base, and applied over top the Lisa Eldridge Rosy Shell, it ties into this look so incredibly beautifully. Now the look really doesn't need it, but I want to try. I purchased one of the new Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping blush fills in the shade Candy Pink. Phytosurgent Sky Fluff Brush. I am gonna take off most of this blush. That is so pretty. I'm gonna take off most of it on the back of my hand, and I wanna put just a little bit more. Okay, well, I think I've got too much blush on now, but we will work with it. Oh my goodness, that is beautiful and more intense than I thought it was gonna be, but hey, that is the opposite feeling I had towards the original blushes. I'm gonna blend that out. Blush is fairly quick to fade on me. Can't forget my eyebrows, especially for a more full-on look. Anastasia Eyebrow Duo in the shade Taupe. And I've been using a fluffy angle brush. This is actually the e.l.f. Nose Contour Brush. I start by using the fluffy side with the lighter of the two powders, and I will go right over my eyebrows. When I get here to the front, I like to take them up. I'm doing them in the mirror behind my camera instead of the smaller up close handheld mirror, because if I do my eyebrows up close, I am gonna take forever and then it's gonna become too heavy for my taste. I want my eyebrows to be filled in, but I want them to still have somewhat of a natural feel to them. Now I'm gonna switch over to my IT Cosmetics Brow Power Brush, comb through, and I'm gonna switch over to my handheld mirror using the darker of the two shades with the angled brush. And I'm gonna use this just to fill in the lower edge, add a little bit of strength to the brow, and that, my friends, completes the makeup look. Keep my makeup on all night long. I have been doing a double setting spray, so my MAC Fix Plus Stay Over. And while that is still damp, I used my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Light zhuzh on the hair. Now, to complete the look, I need to get the makeup off the back of my hand before it gets on my top, and fragrance. When I was thinking about putting together this look, the outfit, what the overall mood is, I could only think of one perfume, and that is Lancôme Idole. Idole is just the most beautiful rose scent. It's soft, but it's present, but it also lasts for 8+ hours on the skin, which is wonderful in my book. And it's such a happy, comforting scent, but it also has something about that's kind of outgoing. And I always get compliments from my husband when I wear it. And I want to add just a little bit of pop of something else. So Parfum de Marly Delina Hair Mist, and I'm just gonna give this a 1-2. And that, my friends, completes my party ready going out makeup look. I hope you all are taking care, staying cool. If you have tried any of these products, or based on this look and my love for this look, if you have any products you think I should check out, let me know in the comment section down below. Until we see each other again, I hope you're taking care of yourself wherever it is you are in the world, and I will see you later. Bye, y'all.